handed over to the private sector in England. And I can tell you something, we might think we have got a devolved parliament. We've got a devolved parliament with strength. They can abolish it tomorrow because they have the ultimate control of Westminster. And if we go to the line, then they can come for us after this referendum in 2014 to try and crush us to make sure we never come back again. So we cannot take the chance of losing this referendum. We have to have a yes vote and we have to have a written constitution. But I also think it will ensure trade union rights, and that's something worth fighting for. Because if we can actually start a social revolution in Scotland, and let's don't bandy about words here, it is a social revolution, a peaceful social revolution. And when the Scottish working class unite and say yes, we have an independent Scotland and an independent Parliament and a written constitution guaranteeing trade union and civil liberties, that is an example to other countries of the world and one which they will follow. It's also not true to say we would abandon our comrades in England and Wales and Northern Ireland. The people in Scotland would not abandon the people of Vietnam when we were actually standing up against them and dealing with them. The people in Scotland did not abandon the people of South Africa when they were fighting against apartheid. The people in South Africa did not abandon the people of Chile when they were standing up against the countries of other people. They can be my example. We're not breaking away from the United Kingdom and then walking away hiding in a dark corner. We understand what nationalism and internationalism is. It is solidarity between nations. Solidarity between nations. But there's something bigger than that. And the top man talked about, I am a citizen of the world. He didn't mean he didn't live in a country. How naive is that? Because he lived in that country, when he said he was a citizen of the world, what he meant was that the working class transcends countries, boundaries, and shows international solidarity throughout the world. It doesn't say we can't get anything to do it. So finally, solidarity related to working class. The alternative is that we can go down the road of Anas and Richard. And I'm sure we've thought about this position. We can go down that road. We can wait. We can cross our legs and hope in 2015 there's a Labour government. We can then hope that that Labour government is a socialist Labour government. We can then hope that that government is going to repeal the Welfare Reform Act and restore the welfare state. We can then also hope that that government is actually going to abolish the minimum wage and actually raise living standards for people decent money. We can also hope that we're going to abolish food banks. We can hope for an awful lot of things. Will they restore all the trade union rights which have been lost to us? I don't think so. Because if it was going to be done, it would have been done in the last 13 years of a Labour government, which is an outright majority. Singular was able to do so. And we have had 307 years of union, and I listen to people say to me, the union has served us well. The union has served us well for 307 years. Tell me one example. Stop telling me it served us well. Tell me a single example. We have food banks. We have welfare reforms. We have sanctions. We manage trade union legislation. You have pleaded with us not to abandon the English working class to the ravages of right-wing Tory government. And then the same are better together.
You said right.
Right, I'm all ready to go to ask you photo. Since we're quoting people, I like to quote one of my favourite ones, Joe Hill. Joe Hill starts doing these chances. Joe Hill says, yeah, vote with them, you'll get pie in the sky when you die.
Thanks a lot. I think Anas Sarwar has conducted the debate in the fashion a lot of the No campaign has, specifically the Labour Party section of it. And that is to try and make it out as if this referendum a referendum on Irish land. Well, it's not. I'm an Irishman living in Scotland. My two oldest sons are Scousers. I work for a Scandinavian multinational. I'm the elected union convener in the place. I'm fighting against the old union bureaucracy to try and establish a UK-wide shop stewards committee to take on that company on their low pay regime. Does that make me a nationalist? It makes me an internationalist. And that's one of the reasons why I believe in independence for Scotland. I also believe in independence for Scotland because it's a democratic measure. Since 1955, there's not been one occasion when the Tories got a majority in this country in elections. And yet for at least 40 years since then, there's been Tory governments. So independence is a measure of democracy for the Scottish people, as well as surely the Labour Party should support democracy after all, allegedly. And I think that when Richard made his points, a lot of the things he said I actually agree with. For example, the point he made about it not being where the power lies, is what you use it. I agree with that. But really it comes down to this. What's the realistic choices? What's the realistic prospects and options that we face next year? I think it comes down to this. That unless Anas is making the same speech as Anas Sarwar did to the Tory Party conference in Scotland, and not the speech he made tonight, trying to lead to the left with equality and shared resources and so on, unless Anas is saying we want a Tory government at a British level, and all will be well, then really the question is what is the best way to get a society where the power is wielded in favour of working class people. And the prospect is that a Labour government, if you get one, in 2050 in Westminster, will that Labour government renationalise Royal Mail, the Senate vote? Will that Labour government nationalise the energy companies in order to precisely control the vicious price rises that made it plain that they won't? Will that Labour government dismantle the anti-union law that they used against workers for 13 years? That they used against workers to divide and conquer them? Obviously, will they reverse privatisations that they carry out themselves? And I think, to just put it in a nutshell, we face the choice of either a Tory government, a Lib Dem coalition, a Tory UKIP coalition, or some variation of maybe a Labour government, and no matter which way you turn, it'll be a government which will increase inequality as the last Labour government did, just as this Tory coalition has. And I think the other choice is to get a government of our own choosing that we can elect in Scotland and then build solidarity with the working class of England, Wales, Ireland and beyond. And I'll finish on this point. When will solidarity for socialism end on the shores of the United Kingdom? I organised solidarity tours for Danish bus workers in Scotland, for Nigerian trade unions facing persecution, for Sri Lankan trade unions, for Russian workers, as well as Irish and Liverpool doctors, amongst others. Surely solidarity is an international question and not restricted to be moved by a British government of the capitalist class.
Hi, Sarwar. Actually, my name is Newhead, one of the oldest names in Scotland, and I'm very, very proud of my background. You're right to be proud of your background. Did you and your family support the independence of Pakistan in 48?
Is that correct? Is that a question then? I'll support answer that later. Is that the point? Is that the point?
That's the point.
Hey, you said, Tommy, take it right back. Tommy.
Let it go. I'd just like to say one thing as well, because really, every nation has a right. There are a lot of distinguished names mentioned here tonight. Man, Connolly, Maxim, all the rest of them. Each of these individuals supported the right
restraint candidates for Parliament until I say something else. First of all, we've got the fact that we could have been right in the middle of a Middle East war at the moment. Cruise missiles could have been raining down the SAS in there. We've been robbed in a almost world war situation. We've been averted from that temporarily, and that's a good thing. So we're fighting a real issue. Then we've got the euro impinging upon us, and I think an independent Scotland's fate would be to be pulled into that failed capitalist project. And then thirdly, we're suffering the worst impoverishment since the Depression, the Great Depression of the 1930s. And I'm afraid I have to say that I've never heard so much nonsense spoken tonight. And the only force that I can see that can resist this capitalist onslaught and resist imperialism is a united working class, a British united working class. And Mr. Sarwar, if they agree with that. And I praise it, I'm not a member of the Labour Party, I'm a Marxist-Leninist, but I praise the Labour Party for helping to avert a war which could have turned into a world war. I praise the Labour Party for averting our entry into the euro. Therefore, I pledge myself to a united working class. And if you end up like yes vote, I advocate a campaign for reunification.
I think you always like to say,
I also kind of totally about taxi. I realise that's an action just now, and basically you're saying there's egos, you don't get contracts, and you're in back workers, right? Why is 76 workers actually still in Canada under the Labour administration with zero contract, and you've cut your wage 4.5%? That's the completely started average and part of the wages. Is that the impact of what's leaving us? No, I'm a social or independent Scotland.
I just want to make a couple of interesting points if I can. Mr. Sarwar, Mr. Anas, one of the saddest things about this whole thing is the Labour movement that I've worked with for the last 30 years, and my father, up to his death 3 years ago, was our staunch supporter for almost the last switch at age 85. That you'll continue to put yourself on the wrong side of history. You are on the wrong side of history on this. Some of the points you make are spurious, and you continue to make them. The idea that this is about abandoning workers in England and Wales and Northern Ireland is spurious. You know, years ago, 30 years ago almost, during the miners' strike, did the trade unions in the Republic of Ireland abandon the miners? No, they didn't. They collected more than 180 miles into the Atlantic Ocean working as an offshore worker, collecting for the miners, bringing miners over from South Wales, delivering them Cork to meetings and putting their families up. Because they were independent, they didn't abandon the miners during the miners' strike. They supported them. And so it would be the same regardless of whether Scotland is independent. You mentioned the exports, our biggest export is the United Kingdom. I think Denmark would probably say the same about Germany. You know, it's another spurious point. Now, you talk about one of your favourite things is about pooled resources. The thing about a resource pool is, what happens when that resource pool starts to diminish? It starts to stagnate, because what we have in the United Kingdom at the moment is a stagnating resource pool. Right? We have diminishing compassion for the vulnerable. We have